good morning, everyone. It is day 3 of the AGRF 2021 Summit. Are you excited, Francisca?
I am excited about that one, Gary. It's been a long time coming. I'm happy we are on the day 3.
Yay!
It is another exciting day in Nairobi. This is the 3rd edition of our show that brings you the best of what the summit has to offer for the day.
Yes.
We have now reached a very large number of participants online.
Okay.
And you know what? All thanks to you, everyone who's tuned in.
Yes.
Keep sharing the link with your family and friends, and let's keep the numbers going.
Yes.
We have government, we have the civil society, the private sector, research community, and development partners from across the globe.
Yes.
They are all at this particular summit discussing pathways to recovery and resilient food systems.
Yes. Pathways to recovery it is.
Yes. Unike, good morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Francisca, and a very warm welcome. Good morning, everyone. Greetings from Zambia. Today's theme and, the day of the discussion, we're coming out from, building forward better. But now it's time to talk about healthy people and planet, which is the theme of today. Tim, how does this theme relate to, your line of work? I'll start from my end. Being a smallholder farmer who's, producing fresh fruits and vegetables, I believe healthy food starts from myself, from the kind of soil that I grow my food in, the kind of handling that I use in order to deliver my products to the farmers. Is that basically starts with me. I don't know. John, what do you think?
Unike, thank you very much. And I like the fact that you start from yourself. So the change that we desire actually starts within ourselves first, from our own farm, making those changes. So what I think personally is there cannot be unhealthy people without a healthy environment or without a healthy planet. So
exactly.
We first start with, we have to make sure that we have a healthy planet that then supports unhealthy people. And how do we do that? Across our agricultural operations, the system that we need to put in place, like you have to take care of your soil as if you're taking care of your body. So the soil, we need to ensure that we enrich the soil in terms of nutrient that it needs, and we don't affect the water bodies and also the biodiversity. So all of this goes hand in hand, and because at the long run, the consumer wanted to consume food that is healthy. But because of that, we also need to be conscious of how we produce our food and not affecting the natural resources that we have.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much, John. Francisca, how does that, resonate with your line of work?
Absolutely. I want to echo what John has just said. We cannot have a healthy planet, healthy people without a healthy planet. We really need to take care of our environment. Everything we eat comes from the soil. So once we take care of the environment will also take care of us. Yes, Unica.
All right. Thank you so much. Wangari, what are your thoughts?
For me, Farm on Fire is very intentional in this area because we feel like in Africa, environmental conservation or taking care of our planet is too, we have other priorities other than that. But we are saying that if we don't take care of our planet now, we will not have food to put in our mouths tomorrow. It's like, quid pro quo. We don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot. And I'm asking all farmers to come in and help us in this.
All right. Thank you so much. Those are great interpretations and understanding on the importance of today's theme. Well, we all know where you're heading to today, but briefly, allow us to share a quick recap of yesterday's sessions. John, could you please kindly walk us through the key highlights from yesterday?
Thank you, Wangari. Yesterday was very amazing. We have the official opening ceremony of the 2021 AGRF. That features an exciting program like the sections on sharing experience about mitigating climate change and COVID-19 impact on our food system. Also, we have the presidential summit with different heads of state in attendance, sharing their commitment and action plans at country level and at regional level. We also have the award ceremonies that features the African Food Prize Award that goes to Equisat. So congratulations to Equisat for the amazing work changing the narrative of agriculture in Africa. Beyond that, we have 2 parallel workshops on resilience and adaptations, and we also have another one that features the rural and market developments. Beyond that, there was something exciting that happened yesterday. We have the Pitch
Yes.
Agri-Ag competitions, where amazing innovators, young people, pitch their solutions to address critical agricultural problems in the African agricultural settings. And also, it was back to back because we have the Go Gets Agripreneur Teachers events that happened yesterday, also featuring amazing solutions to African food system as well. But beyond that, yesterday we have one of the exciting sections on farmer food system innovations, where we have over 15 exciting different innovators pitching and showing some of their solutions, showcasing it. We also have commitment showcase by head of state and stakeholders highlighting their initiatives and commitment to transform African food systems and also deliver on the 2030 agenda that we have. So yeah, that's a quick highlight of what happened yesterday, Francesca.
Oh yes, John. And you know what? We also had a lovely chat with Miss Mary Ann, the Public Affairs Lead at the East-West Seed in the Philippines. And we also hosted Dr. Fan, the Dean of Academy of Global Food Economics and Policies, and also the Chair and Professor of the China Agricultural University and the former Director General of IFPRI. You know, I love the conversations that we had with them, their youth engaging drive and encouragement. You know, we just need more of these conversations during the AGRF 2021 summit.
Yes.
Yes.
I totally agree. I think yesterday was my best day yet because I got to see young people getting to win prizes. I saw the former Prime Minister also made a pop-in. I had a photo session with Jeff Koinange, so it was quite an exciting day indeed. Yes, so yes, John, we had a lovely chat. From my end, we had some key facts for us guys. We are continuing with the deeper conversation about food security. Like we mentioned earlier, we are focusing on a healthy people, healthy planet, and globally over 800 million people still face chronic undernutrition, while 2 billion suffer from one or more micronutrient deficiencies. In East and Southern Africa, processed food are now constituting nearly 40% of the entire food budget of households and nearly 70% of the purchased foods. Unike, I'd like to hear your thoughts around this fact. What do you think?
Well, Wangari, that is, very alarming. Just hearing those numbers, something really needs to be done.
Yeah.
But I know it's just not about people, is it? But before we proceed, I would like to share some tweets that, were making rounds yesterday, and, just to get, some feedback from what was happening. So I'll do a recap on some of, the social media coverage that we had. We had a tweet that was really making rounds yesterday from the president of the African Development Bank, that's Dr. Adesina. His tweet was saying, malnourished children today will make malnourished economies tomorrow. That's one tweet. We also had one from the High Representative for Infrastructure Development of the African Union, that is Riley Odinka, who said, food security is a fundamental right for our people, but many of our people are starving. Africa doesn't deserve to have people starving, as we are rich with resources. For me, I totally agree with that. So Wangari, tell me more.
Yes, I'm loving the engagement on Twitter and even online on all social platforms. It's about keeping the dialogues going in regards to what we are discussing here today. We are hoping that this is just a conversation starter. We are hoping that this is just to spike that interest to go on and do something about our current challenges. Yes, so the global scale of agriculture and the dominance of high input food practices has spillover effects. For example, production activities such as agriculture, forestry, grazing in rangelands occupy almost 40% of the terrestrial landscape. And 29% of the global marine fisheries are overfished and 61% are fully exploited. So in this conversation of looking at the impact of food production and consumption patterns on the biosphere is already staggering. being the largest driver of loss of biodiversity and its ecosystem services, as well as a principal driver of breaching multiple planetary boundaries and consequent socio-ecological regime shifts. For me, this has been quite an enlightening time, and I'd like to hear what you think on the matter, Francisca.
Well, as a matter of fact, Wangari,
Yes.
Increasingly, many of these impacts are exhibiting feedback effects
Mm-hmm.
in the form of decreased water quality,
Yeah.
air quality, and disease.
Yes.
Now we have both communicable diseases, such as the avian bird flu,
Yes.
and we also have non-communicable diseases, such as diabetes, cardiovascular diseases.
Yeah.
And with healthy diets currently out of reach for an estimated 3 billion people worldwide, innovations and strategies are
Yes.
needed to help Africa improve, the availability, accessibility, and affordability of nutrient-rich food
Yes.
that is sustainably produced. Yes.
I agree. So we're going to get into the other segment of our special guests. I think we are in line with what the theme for today is about. Always remember to hashtag AGRF 2021.
Yes.
And we'll go right into our special guests for today. We have Dr. Daniel Varnard, Chief Sustainability Officer at Syngenta. This morning, we are joined by the Chief Sustainability Officer, Mr. Daniel Varnard at Syngenta, to help us tease out mechanisms for scaling up innovations and strategies contributing to sustainable, healthy production. John, take us on.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Wangari. I think we have an amazing guest today, and I will just read a quick bio for Daniel. So Daniel is the Chief Sustainability Officer at Syngenta Group, and he oversees the company's work in achieving net zero, nature-positive agriculture that enables social and environmental development. Daniel joined Syngenta from the World Resources Institute, and where he was the global director with the Institute Food and Agricultural team. Prior to joining the World Resource Institute, Daniel has worked for over 15 years with Max Incorporated and the Procter & Gamble, working on corporate strategy, sustainability, and marketing. Impressive guest that you have today, Wangari.
Yes, I'm quite excited. Daniel? Mr. Daniel, can you hear me?
Good morning. Lovely to speak with you all.
Yes, we are excited to have you here, and we would just like to have the pleasure of having you at the AGRF Good Morning Show. And on to the first question: what is Syngenta contribution to sustainable health food system?
Yeah, well, I suppose I believe that healthy food systems have to start with healthy plants, because it really is the foundation for high quality and, importantly, a dependable source of food. And at Syngenta, our mission is to bring sustainable innovations to farmers and growers around the world, to protect them, to help them protect and boost their yields with plant health. And our technologies help do this all the way from the seeds through to helping protect the plants and all the way through to maintaining the integrity of the harvest. And I suppose one could argue that technologies such as this are needed more in Africa than in anywhere else, because despite obviously being a very resource-rich continent where agriculture is the backbone of society, Africa still imports food. And in part, this is because the African farm performs only around 40% of its potential in terms of its output. And unfortunately, on present trends, the continent's set to produce only 13% of the agricultural products it needs by 2050. And increasing yields would really enable Africa to meet this internal food demand, whilst also, as you were just talking about, tackle critical issues such as smallholder poverty. Because I was reading a study the other day that suggested that in Africa, for every 10% increase in yields, poverty falls by 7%. And so we're doing a lot of work to tackle this, but rather than cover everything, I just thought I'd mention some work in maize, because obviously maize, I think I saw that the FAO estimates that about 300 million people across Africa rely on maize for their food and livelihood. So it's a critical crop. And so our seed care technologies, for example, really help increase the ability of maize to absorb nutrients and help it to become more climate resilient. In particular, some of our technology helps with a process called mycorrhization, which enables plants to increase the water that they absorb by 20%, and also helps them really become stronger with regards to nutrient uptake. And also, excitingly, we also recently registered our improved seed trait technology, so a new seed in South Africa that will help farmers access high quality maize production, but importantly, really protect the crop from highly infectious pests like fall armyworm, which left uncontrolled can yield by 10 to 50%. So those are a range of things with you. I think the other thing I would just say to Yaniki, to something that you said, which is healthy farms and a healthy planet needs to start with healthy plants, but also healthy farmers. So we're really committed to helping our growers and customers use the products in the most safe way possible. So over the last 7 or so years, we've actually trained about 43 million farmers and growers around the world on the safe stewardship of products, a large number of which are in Africa as well.
Wow, impressive. I am definitely going to check out the Syngenta website for more on that as well. I'm hearing some very interesting information. And on to the second question, addressing the nutrition challenges and the impact of food production in the planet is quite a tall order. Wouldn't you agree? Is Syngenta going to do it alone? Who are you working with? What kind of commitments are you engaged with as you undertake it in the continent? Daniel?
Great, fab question, thank you. Well, I think collaboration is one of the core principles for us at Syngenta, but it's going to be critical. As you say, this challenge is much more than just one organisation. I think we all need to work together in this. And so we're building a network of partners, everyone from academic institutions through to value chain, companies in the value chain, agricultural peer companies, farmers and NGOs. And just to bring this to life, one of my favourite examples is our involvement into the Farm to Market Alliance that you might have heard of. It's a partnership of 6 food and agricultural organisations, from Agra, Yara, Rubber Bank, Bayer, the World Food Programme and ourselves. And in Kenya, Rwanda and Tanzania, our goal is to build resilient value chains by linking farmers and the production of a key set of crops to the value chain. And just in the last couple of years alone, we've empowered about 150,000 smallholders and helped increase yields critically in 5 crops that cover almost 20,000 hectares. So, one great example. Another one that I also am a fan of is in Morocco. We've partnered with one of our peer companies, Agra in Morocco, a seed company, and we're providing smallholders with high quality treated seeds to help them increase their livelihoods and increase their food security. And the smallholders that we've worked with, it's actually helped them increase their yields by 25%. And maybe just to close, and I learned the other day of another fascinating project that we're doing in East Africa called Mavuno Saidi, where we work with partners to provide things like finance, training on good economic practices, and helping link farmers into the food market. And already this project's helped about 70,000 farmers really increase their yield and drive their income as a result. So collaboration is critical. I think we all need to work on this together, and Syngenta stands ready to collaborate and support projects across the continent.
Wow, that is quite an impressive effort to tackle the sustainability of healthy food systems. I remember my grandmother used to give us those examples of once you harvest maize, then you eat some, sell some, and then keep some for the next harvest. But we need to change that narrative to getting seeds that that will produce more, right? Yes, and as we finish off, what would be your keywords, Daniel, that you would use for future food systems in Africa?
I think one key word I would use is optimism. I think that there's such an amazing potential within African agriculture, not only as an industry in itself, but really to see it as a vehicle through which we can tackle critical issues such as income, poverty, and as we were talking about, health. So optimism about the potential for the industry, but the potential for the industry to help tackle some of the world's biggest environmental and social problems.
Wow, thank you so much, Daniel. We had a pleasure of having you. We look forward to more from Syngenta. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Unique?
Daniel, for taking time to join us for this particular interview. I'm very privileged to represent, the Farm to Market Alliance here in Zambia, and Syngenta is one of our alliance members. And thank you so much for bringing us, up to speed to the world of sustainable, healthy food production. Thank you so much. Over to you, John.
Yes, thank you. I think, well, for now, we have to take another video clip of our tractor journey. If you started with us yesterday, you saw how we are displaying the farmer on tractor, not farmer on fire right now. So, team, shall we take another clip of this video?
I'm on fire. My God, why do you look so sad?
Abu, imagine, Fran, I've been here this whole time. I've been looking all over for someone to tell me what this John Deere truck is doing here.
This is the same truck we found here yesterday, right?
Yes, yes.
And it's still here.
I have no idea. What do you think it's doing here?
I have a couple of guesses.
Yes.
I think perhaps it's part of Serena's concierge.
Really? I know. It could be that this is what they use to transport things around the hotel.
No, this is a bit too big. It's a bit too big for that.
It is a big hotel though.
I hear you. Do you think it's a lawnmower?
Yes. This actually look like those things they use on the golf course to cut the grass.
Don't you think this is a bit too big though for a hotel?
What could it be for then?
I really don't know, Angari. I'm not so sure.
But when I go to visit farmers out there to do the YouTube Farmer on Fire videos, I find them with such equipment. This one time I went to Wasingishu where they do a lot of mechanized farming.
Yeah.
And they have tracks, hectares of land.
Wow.
Where they're doing large-scale farming. They are the ones who are producing most maize in this Kenya.
Wow.
And they have such machinery. Yeah.
You know what? I don't think they'd be able to do that if they didn't have this, because can you imagine such big pieces of land?
Yeah.
How do you till that using a djembe?
Yes.
It takes so many days.
Actually, that is true, because you can imagine even why someone with disability would shy away from agriculture is because they're thinking, I have to toil myself, be in the hot sun by myself. But if you have a machine
like this,
it's an equalizer, isn't it?
It is.
Mechanized farming is the future. And if we are to have discussions about food security, we have to include innovation, technology, and mechanization. Don't you agree?
I absolutely agree. And this is the conversation that's been going on at the AGRF.
Yeah.
Talking about building forward better, tapping into innovation,
Uh-huh.
and this is it.
Yes,
This is it.
I totally agree. And the fact that it's green and nature is green and agriculture is green, I'm kind of loving that.
You know what?
Yes.
This tractor has been here. It was here yesterday.
Yes.
It's still here today.
Yes.
And it's going to be here tomorrow.
Is it though? Because we don't know.
We really
But
don't know why.
we are investigating for you guys.
We will let you know.
We will let you know, so make sure you stay on, and tomorrow still sign in to figure out more surprises on who the track is for conversations, dialogue about this track and the summit.
Yes.
Goodness, the team is absolutely on fire. I can imagine those sensational moments spending on the tractor. And you know what I pick out from those videos that you share with us, Wangari and Francesca, is that mechanization helps us to change the narrative from manpower to machine power. Because of that, we are able to boost the income of farmers, save their cost, and also help them nurture the soil in a proper way. But beyond that, because of our time, I'll just do another quick summary of what happened from that video that I think I picked, is that we need to think of mechanization as a catalyst that enables us to transform our agricultural sector, helping us to achieve 5 things. 1, it helps us to grow our food. It helps us to harvest our food. It helps us to store it, mix it, and then it also helps us to feed it, whether to the animal or to human being. So thank you for sharing that amazing journey, and we can't wait for what is going to happen on another edition of that farm tractor drive that we'll have. So let's go to, we have an amazing second interview today, Divine, who is joining us in the studio for this exciting edition of Good Morning AGRF. This man is one of my favorite person on earth, because I see him almost everywhere, championing change for young people and all of that. So, Yudike, you want to take us through the profile of Divine?
Exactly. No, thank you so much, John, for that. And I think before we proceed to Divine, there's something I just want to mention. Yesterday, you tweeted something on mechanization. Just give me a second to read through it. You said, in the pathways of achieving resilient food systems, we can't achieve food security without incorporating mechanization. So for me, I think we're on the right track. Anyway, to proceed with the next interview, we are going to be joined by Divine. Divine is the founder and managing director of the Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network, present in over 65 countries worldwide, and the African Continental Vice President of the Youth in Livestock, Fisheries, and Aquaculture Incubation Network. Over to you, John, to conclude with the interview.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome, Divine, to our episode of Good Morning AGRF. It's a pleasure to have you join us this morning, and you have a very beautiful smile.
Thank you very much indeed for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So your work speaks for you, and we've seen a couple of the things that you've done in the past and you're still doing, changing the narrative. So tell us a bit more about your work and how that is helping the ongoing discussion at the AGRF.
Thank you very much indeed. I would rather want you to ask me the question, what is your passion, not my work? Now, my passion is, first of all, seeing young people at the center of the development process, and then equally ensuring that young women, young girls, persons with disabilities are at the center of all what we're discussing here, because this is a decade of action. How do we ensure that we take stock of the opportunities we have, which is actually, Africa is actually the continent of the future, and at the present, because we have 65% arable land. How to make sure that we take that opportunity and transform the rural communities into rural cities. That's why seeing the tractors, I say, yeah, it's very good seeing tractors, but again, it is very cost effective. What are we doing to making sure that we link up? We try to identify some of the development partners to support some of this initiative. That's why I want to say I'm very, very excited. And for your information, Unique is one of the CSAYM members. And right now, we working together. I saw the beautiful girls. When you see beautiful girls with beautiful dresses, it actually shows that agriculture is sexy and attractive for young people. It actually recalls me when I was in Accra meeting with the IFAD former president Nwanze, yes, where he said agriculture should make it attractive, should make it appealing for young people. seeing those young ladies, I want to tell you, we have duplicates of these ladies here in Cameroon. I found 5 of them doing amazing work, transforming, cocoa to oil, transforming honey to cosmetic products and stuff like that. So, right, we are actually setting up a youth, women, leaders, CEOs in Cameroon, and we shall have 10 of them between now and December 2021. And the idea is to tell the whole world that women are actually an asset and not a liability. And the second thing I want to say, we've been focusing on young people. And young people themselves are the issue because they don't take self-responsibility. And there's the issue of fact, and the issue of faith, and the issue of self-esteem, and confidence. With that, I want to say that there are three things I want to say here. The first thing, I heard my colleagues saying that agriculture is the backbone. I would say agriculture is actually the oxygen of the world, because without agriculture, no one will survive. I can't remember the last time I went to the hospital, but every day we do eat. Yeah. So I want to address 4 different enablers here. We talked about health, sustainable health for food system. I will address it. I will say C is COVID. The 4 C's. 1 is COVID, which is how to make sure that we try to target, transform the local food system. Right now, you're taking stock of this COVID agenda. We have climate, which is actually has been forever. Now, I equally talk of cooperation and I talk of compassion. We need to feel for each other if we want to make sure we achieve the SDGs by 2030. Over.
Let me take this discussion forward from there, Divine. I like the fact that you mentioned climate change as part of the issue, and then you mentioned young people as change agent that you're working with, which is your passion. Thank you so much for that. So I want to take that question from that aspect. So you manage one of the largest youth network in terms of the climate smart agriculture youth network. So tell us, what are some of the youth initiatives? Because you say you're passionate about young people and women at the affairs of driving this change. So what are some of the initiatives that your youth initiatives that you're currently implementing, whether in your country or in different African countries?
The first thing, and one thing you didn't mention here, is that I'm one of the UN Food System champions. And being one of the UN Food System champions, we want to make sure that nobody is left behind, because the summit is coming out in a few weeks, and it's a people and a solution summit. Why a people summit? Because everybody should be involved in the whole process. That's why young people, women, persons with disabilities are actually at the center of what we're doing. And one of the initiatives actually to making sure that the SDGs are transcribed into Braille so that the visually impaired can actually have access to the information. The second thing we're trying to do is that we have set up a youth constituency of young women leaders, CEOs, in Kumba, which is in the southwest region of Cameroon. I found 5 beautiful girls doing 5 different things in different value chains, and it's actually impacting. The idea is that between now and December, we should set up 10 of them. And what's going to be the outcome of that? We want to stem what we call sex working. We want to stop the issue of what we call child trafficking and making sure that young girls and children are at the center of our priorities. So they're going to employ young people. Especially, we don't want to engage men at this point because we want the women many years to come to say, my husband, this is $100,000 as your birthday cake. You know what I mean? So really, the next initiative that we're trying to roll out is we are looking at the youth, the volunteer and internship program. We are actually implementing with Lucania University and many other universities. We have a corner we worked with in 2018. So right now we are rolling out in a lot of universities around the world, and we are not in 65 countries anymore. We are in 100 plus countries. And now, as I'm speaking to you, we have one of the patrons who is actually leading the women program, who is Christiane Pauline, who is a police officer in Canada, and she's been a lot. She's an influencer. We are making sure that we're going to get all the leaders, Dr. Amina Mohamed, the DSG, Dr. Kalibara, Gozi, all these.
Permit me to quote you there. I think I like that you mentioned a number of initiatives, particularly the internship, resonate well with me. So right now, I want to give you maybe 1 to 2 minutes at this AGRF summit. What are the opportunities and what do you need? What do you think we should engage on in terms of youth engagement in agriculture that you think should be addressed at this particular AGRF summit? What will be your final key action word?
The first thing, I have 2 things. The first thing is that we need to set up youth working group from this AGRF, women working group, person living with disability working group. You know, those 3 working groups, we should have a follow-up and review mechanism in 6 months. What has happened to them? Or should integrate them in the national implementation plans. So I call upon all ministers of agriculture in the whole world, not only in Africa, and equally the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Women Affairs, Women Gender, whatever, let them try to integrate all these working groups into their national implementation plan, because those are going to be the enablers to ensure that we leave no one behind and make sure that the AGRF continues to be sustainable. With that, I want to thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Divine. As always, never disappoints representing youth and women interests across the food value chain. Thank you very much for your time on this AGRF Summit. So I turn it over quickly back to my colleague, Francesca, to run us through the program of the day.
Thank you, John, and thank you so much, Divine, for that great conversation on the role of the youth at this year's AGRF. Now, moving on quickly to today's program, as we have had, the session will focus on healthy people and the healthy planet. Today's program will feature the Youth Town Hall, which I'm particularly excited about, and this is because the President of the His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, the President of the Republic of Kenya, and the patron of the 4K Club in Kenya, will interact with young people to hear their challenges and aspirations. The program will also feature parallel workshops on food systems and nutrition, sustainable productivity platforms, and we will also have, a conversation on food systems pathways perspectives from regional dialogues from the East, West, Central, North, and Southern Africa. Wangari,
Yes.
what do you think about that lineup of the program today?
Just before I comment on that,
Yes.
I would also like to affirm what Divine is saying. I had
Yes.
an opportunity to interview off camera one of their representative in Kenya, Ms. Violet.
Yes.
And for sure she convinced me, and Farmer on Fire is joining the platform. And other youth out there who are wondering how they can come on board in the Climate Smart platform, they can also go to their website and enroll as a volunteer and make change from where you are, guys. So I'm excited about that. But on to your question, I am looking forward to meeting the president, maybe get a photo op. I have advised my friend who is watching from home to take a photo of herself and the screen of the president on their laptop so that they can all say they were together in this forum discussing this very important topic. Yes, but I also see that in the afternoon we have exciting plenary session on delivering healthy diets for people and the planet, which will feature some high-level speakers discussing opportunities to shift current trends in all forms of malnutrition, prioritizing nutritious food availability and affordability for all. This topic of malnutrition, what do you feel about it, John? I hear like you are about to come up with an proverb. Am I wrong?
No, you surely know me, right, Wangari. So because Africa is rich in culture, we have to scale up our discussion with or support it with an African proverb. There's a proverb that says that a youth that does not cultivate friendship with the headers is like a tree without the roots. So that's my proverb of the day, meaning that today we are going to have one of the programs featuring the chairperson, the Hagra board, and the chair of the AGRF partners group, His Excellency Ali Mariam, the former prime ministers of Ethiopia, who will be hosting the different heads of council, heads of states to discuss on the status of food security in Africa and how we can converge to drive actions towards achieving resilient food systems today.
John, you really make my day with all these proverbs. Really, really interesting. But you know what? Don't miss out today's staples, the Food Systems Innovators at 10:45 and 12:45, networking exhibition at 1 p.m., and commitment showcases at 1:45, 2:45, 4:45 and 6 p.m. and all this is East African time. We will have the Agra Center for African Leaders in Agriculture. We will have the Koteva. We'll also have iCare Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation and Equity Bank at the commitment showcases. So please don't miss out on that. And we'll also have some of us who are foodies. You know what? We have to get excited about this.
Yay.
Because we'll have the chef moderator Paul Newman in a conversation with Chef JJ from USA and Chef Zoe from Ghana, and hopefully they will share some of the secret recipes that set us on the right path to sustainable healthy diets. So don't miss out. We will also have participatory events, the Greening Cities, a pathway to resilient urban food systems in Africa, and also have one discussion with the CGIAR.
Wow, that sounds like an action-packed day.
It
I am
does.
specifically looking forward to the discussion on CGIAR. I know those guys, they are point on with their research, but I'm also looking forward to the chef from Ghana because I love their cuisine. But closing out the day at sunset, please join the Insights team at 6:15 p.m. East African time for an interactive session reflecting on the day's sessions on whether are we actually walking the path to change. This is where we also need your interaction on Twitter. Please give us your feedback. Please, if you're angry, tweet about it. If you're happy, if you would like, you have a solution from home that you feel is not being drilled in, we are looking forward to your tweets and to your responses and reactions to the AGRF 2021. John?
Yes, thank you, Wangari. So as we close for today's Good Morning AGRF section, I'd like to end with this beautiful African proverb that says, when the music changes, so does our dance step have to change. So, ladies, are you guys ready? Because we are talking about food system transformations, we are talking about 80 planet and 80 people. So, I'd like us to change the dance step right now, and I want to take your action word that will drive that changes that we want. So in 10 seconds, Unique, give me your action word for today.
My action word for today is healthy farmer starts with me. Once I'm healthy, even the food that I'm going to grow is going to be perfect. So healthy systems have to start with me. That's all I have.
Healthy food system is starts with you. That's awesome. So Wangari, let me take your action word.
As I keep going into these rooms, yesterday I had someone, I can't quite remember, that said that malnourished people today are malnourished economies tomorrow. So that's my tagline.
That's so powerful. I love that. So Francesca, over to you.
Thank you, John. I will borrow my action words for today from Mr. Divine. He did say that, this is the decade of action. And, if we don't act right now, we really will have no planet in the next decade. So as youth, let's take this upon ourselves to make sure that we take care of our environment. Yes.
Well, thank you very much, team. Ladies, you surely have what it is that we are talking about. So, Unique, I'll hand over back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, team, for such a great presentation. Unfortunately, we have come to the end of our program, but hopefully you can join us tomorrow, same time, same place at Good Morning AGRF. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you for staying with us. See you tomorrow. And don't forget, our hashtag is AGRF 2021. Goodbye from Farmer on Fire.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Whoa.